Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at great millstones who taught us this truth. Honors and salutations to all sincere Akim on the four corners of the earth. Pushing this truth and sincerity. And to the women and children that believe on the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, man. My name is Maka Allah Bungad Ben Yasha Allah from the Watchman Philadelphia camp, you know. And I just was saying I want to do a lesson, to prove to people, that Israel was scattered amongst all the other nations, man, you know. And at one point in time, we didn't always speak our language. We lost our heritage, which is all throughout the scriptures, you know. But without further ado, I'm going to hop right into it. The first scripture I want to bring out is Tobit, chapter 13, verse 3. It says, confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them, man. All right, so I'm going to read out this book. It's basically telling you, this book right here, the Bible of history. But it basically goes, this little section right here is talking about, the first translation of the scriptures or whatever. Why? Because we weren't speaking our Hebrew tongue. Wherever we were scattered at and came up, that's the language we were speaking, you know? And you have dudes that sit there and be like, well, if you the real Israelites, if y'all the Israelites, you should know how to speak Hebrew and all that, you know? How you gonna know a language that you wasn't taught? All right, wherever you come up at, that's what language you're gonna speak. Like you might have an Israelite in China. What are you gonna speak? You're gonna speak Chinese. You might have an Israelite that came up in Arabia. He gonna speak Arabic. So or wherever, whatever land, where Ephraim, they speak Spanish, But I'm gonna start it with this. It says the first Jews lived under Persian rule for about 200 years. Salak, not the first Jews. It says the Jews lived under Persian rule for about 200 years, from the time that Cyrus overthrew the Babylonians until Alexander the Greek conquered the Persians, the Persian Empire in 332 BC. Beginning in 323, when Alexander died, Palestine and Egypt came under control of Alexander's former general Ptolemy the First, who was succeeded by his son Ptolemy the Second in 285. Ptolemy the Second was a great ruler who fostered learnings. His capital at Alexandria, Egypt, became the chief center of learning in the Mediterranean world, noted for its extensive library. All right, it says, but by Ptolemy's time, large numbers of Jews had left their home to work and study in foreign lands, including Egypt, and they spoke the Greek language, received the Greek education, and adapted many Greek customs. So yeah, that's they lost their heritage, man. The same way right here in America, man. All right, the same way right here in America. What they do, they get a American education, follow the American customs, you know, and they act like they are Americans. That's why it talks about the Gentiles, man. And these Gentiles that it's speaking about is talking about Israelites, man. You know? All right, it says in time, these dispersed Jews, known as the Jews of Dispersia, which is the Greek translation, it says Greek for dispersion. All right. Found themselves unable to read their own scriptures, which were written in Hebrew. So yeah, that's just like if somebody right now came up to a brother that wasn't learned in the Hebrew language, just an average Israelite, just that doesn't even know he's an Israelite, and you give him the scriptures in Hebrew, he's not going to be able to read it, man. He's not going to be able to read it, even though that's his language, man, because everything was taken from us. All right. It says unable to read their own scriptures, which were written in Hebrew. A translation into Greek was sorely needed, and one was produced in the 3rd century BC. It was the first translation of the Bible ever made. It says, according to an ancient account, the Hebrew scriptures were translated into Greek at the request of King Ptolemy the second. This account is the subject of this account is the subject of an ancient document known as the Letter of Aristes. The author Aristes claims to be writing from Alexandria to a brother he calls Philocrates. Aristes tells his brother that King Ptolemy had wanted his librarian Demetrius to acquire a copy of every book in the world for his famous library in Alexandria. Now that's a Edomite custom, man. You know, because they want everything. That's how you know that this is Esau, man. You know, they have to get everything that's not theirs. Say woe to him that increases was not his, man. You know, so all these books wasn't theirs, man. But yet he wanted a copy of every single book, and most likely he probably wanted the original, man. You know. But going on, it says after collecting 200,000 volumes, Demetrius appraised the king of Salakia, the king of his progress, adding that he hoped to increase the number of books in the library to 500,000. So he wasn't happy with the 200,000; he wanted the 500,000. That's why Esau like that song by Meek Mill, and he gets in that, and he gets that from the Edomites, man. He made a song called "I Want It All." You know, you want it all. That's what Esau wants. They want everything. That's why they about to implement this RFID microchip, you know, so they can have control of the masses of the people. They want control over everything. They want to be like Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man. All right. That's why they putting cameras here, putting cameras there. You know, they detecting you through your phone and all that. You know, Esau's a real piece of garbage, man. A piece of caca. It says among the books still missing, Demetrius said, were the law books of the Jews. Damn, so they want our books. Why they want our books, man? You know, so they know how to manipulate us and try to have and like they put the GMOs in the food and all that stuff, and they know we're not supposed to eat pork and this and that. They want to know everything about us, so they know how to keep us down, man. You know, to get us away from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man. It says, which were worthy of translation and inclusion in the royal library, man. It says, anxious to process a translation of the Jews' books, Ptolemy ordered that a letter be written to Eleazar, the Jew high priest in Jerusalem, asking him to send 72 of his best scholars to Alexandria to make an accurate translation of the Jew law, the 5 books of Moses, into Greek. When the 72 scholars arrived in Alexandria, there were 6 scriptural scholars from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. So they bought all Israelites. Why? Because these are our books, and these were Hebrew speaking Israelites, man. You know, so they had to be well rounded in both languages, man, to translate it. All right, that's like you have right now. All the scriptures were written in Hebrew, but now they had the Old Testament was written translated from the Hebrew to the English, and the New Testament was translated from the Greek to the English. Okay, but it says they were served some sumptuous meals feast and treated almost as royalty. So when I see that, man, that brings me to because why Esau they try and butter them up so they'd be able to read, you know, our laws, statutes, and commandments, man. For what reason? So they could twist it up, man. You know. But that brings me to Sirach chapter 12, verse 7. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness, man. So man, they shouldn't even trusted these damn devils to translate our books, man, so that they could read them. You know, because what they was going to do, twist it up and try like they doing now, man. They twist up the scriptures and all that. Why? Because they can read them, and they try to how you say like break it down, give you breakdowns and all that, but the breakdowns are completely off, man. You know, they completely off and they completely false, man. All right. It says They were just, man, they was treated like royalty. So that's the same way they do them, how you say, man, like them rappers or whatever that sell out or do whatever Esau wants them to do for them. They give you gifts and all that, man. You know, it says they were then given a quiet place to work on a small island a mile out into the Mediterranean Sea. The scholars divided the work among themselves, consulting one another as they progressed. They completed their translation in 72 days. When the translations was read to an assembly of the local Jews, it was lavishly praised. In fact, it was declared to be so accurate that a curse was placed on anyone who dared change anything about it. King Ptolemy too was pleased with the translation, marveling at the genius of the lawgiver, man. You know? So they always been infatuated with us, man. You know? Our intelligence and all that, man. You know? But it was so accurate that they put a curse on anybody that tried to change it, man. You know? But it says he sent the scholars back home weighed down with rich gifts. You see that? That's what Esau does, man. Once he gets what he wants, he pays you off, man. Here, take that. Take this money. He sent them back home weighed off with rich gifts, man. Because he already had what he wanted, man. It says, whether the letter of Aristes is authentic, not as debatable. Some scholars consider the letter to be fictitious and believe that it was actually written after the time of Ptolemy, possibly in the 2nd or 1st century BC, to add to the confusion. Later, far more fanciful versions of the story also exist. In some early Christian versions of the tale, the translations is made by only 70 scholars, paralleling the 70 elders who were with Moses at Mount Sinai. And they give you the reference to Exodus 24, 1 through 14, which I'll grab that real quick. You know, grab that real quick. Exodus 24, starting at verse 1. There you go. Exodus 24, starting at verse 1. It says, and he said unto Moses, come up unto Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, though thou and Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and the 70 other elders of Israel, and worship ye afar. And Moses alone shall come near Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yahweh Bashem Yahushua hath said, we will do. And Moses wrote all the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar unto the hill under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. So, our people said that they was going to do everything, you know, that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua told us to do. But guess what happened? We ain't do it. So we went off, man. So and that's why we under the curses now, you know. But I'm gonna stop it right now because I'm gonna do a part 2 real fast. And with that, shalom.